ॐ गणानां गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्तदानम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। सरस्वत्यै नमो नित्यं भद्रकाले नमो नमः। वेदवेदान्तवेदाङ्ग विद्यास्थानेभ्यैव च सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तिः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुभतातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। अचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा देवाहुरपरो हरिः अभाललोचनः शम्भुः भगवान् बादरायणः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। 55th सूत्र onwards। वैश्वानरः साधारण शब्द विशेषात् स्मर्यमाणम् अनुमानं स्यादिति शब्दादिभ्योऽन्तः प्रतिष्ठानाच्च नीति चेन्न तथा दृष्टुपदेशा असंभवात् पुरुषम् अपि चैनम् अधीयते। अतएव न देवता भूतञ्च साक्षादप्यविरोधम् जैमिनिः अभिव्यक्तिरित्यास्मरत्यः अनुस्मृतेर्बादरिः सम्पत्तिरिति जैमिनिस्तथा हि दर्शयति। आमनन्ति चैनमस्मिन् द्युभ्वाद्यायतनं स्वशब्दात् मुक्तोपसृप्यवपदेशा नानुमानम् अतच्छब्दात् प्राणभृच्छ भेदव्यपदेशात् प्रकरणात् स्थित्यादनाभ्यां च भूमा संप्रसादात् अद्युपदेशात् भूमा संप्रसादात् अद्युपदेशात्. Let us read is 259. इदं समामनन्ति भूमा त्वेव विजिज्ञासितव्य इति भूमानं भगवो विजिज्ञास इति यत्र नान्यत् पश्यति नान्यत् शृणोति नान्यत् विजानाति स भूमा अत यत्र अन्यत् पश्यति अन्यत् शृणोति अन्यत् विजानाति तदल्पम् इत्यादि तत्र संशयः किं प्राणो भूमा स्यात् आहोस्विक् परमात्मेति कुतः संशयः भूमा इति तावद् बहुत्वम् अभिधीयते बहोर्लोपो भूच बहोः इति भूमशब्दस्य भावप्रत्ययान्तः स्मरणात् किम् आत्मकम् पुनस्तद्बहुत्वमिति विशेषाकाङ्क्षायाम् प्राणो बाहाशाय भूयान् इति सन्निधानात् प्राणो भूमा इति प्रतिभाति तथा श्रुतम् एव मे भगवदृशेभ्यस्तरति शोकम् आत्मवित् सोऽहं भगवः शोचामि तम्मा भगवान् शोकस्य पारं तारयतु। इति प्रकरणोत्थानात् परमात्मा भूमा इति अपि प्रतिभाति तत्र कस्योपादानं ज्ञाय्यं कस्य वाहनमिति भवति संशयः किं तावत् प्राप्तं प्राणो भूमेति कस्मात् भूयः प्रश्न प्रतिवचन परम्परादर्शनात् यथा हि अस्ति भगवो नाम्नो भूयः इति वाग्वाव नाम्नो भूयसी इति तथास्ति भगवो वाचो भूयः इति मनो आव वाचो भूयः इति च नामादिभ्यो हि प्राणाद् भूयः प्रश्न प्रतिवचन प्रवाहः प्रवृत्तः नैवं प्राणात् परं भूयः प्रश्न प्रतिवचनम् दृश्यते अस्ति भगवः प्राणाद् भूयः इति अदो वाव प्राणाद् भूयः इति प्राणम् एव तु नामादिभ्यः आशान्तेभ्यः भूयांसं प्राणो वा आशाया भूयान् इत्यादिना स प्रपञ्चम् उक्त्वा प्राणदर्शिनः अतिवादित्वम् अतिवादीयसीति अतिवाद्यसीति अतिवाद्यस्मीति भूयान् नापुन्वीत इति अभ्युनुज्ञाय ईश तु वाति वदति यः सत्येनाति वदति इति प्राणव्रतम् अतिवादित्वम् अनुकृष्य परित्यज्य एव प्राणं सत्यादि परम्परया भूमानम् अवतारयन् प्राणमेव भूमानं मन्यते इति गम्यते कथं पुनः प्राणे भूमनि व्याख्यायमाने यत्र नान्यत् पश्यति इति एतत् भूम्नः लक्षणपरं वचनं व्याख्यायेतेति उच्यते सुषुप्त्यावस्थायां प्राणग्रस्तेषु करणेषु दर्शनादि व्यवहार निवृत्ति दर्शनात् संभवति प्राणस्यापि यत्र नान्यत् पश्यति इति एतल्लक्षणं तथा च श्रुतिः न शृणोति न पश्यति इत्यादिना सर्वकरण व्यापार प्रत्यस्तमया रूपाम् सुषुप्त्यावस्थायाम् सुषुप्त्यावस्थाम् उक्त्वा प्राणाग्न्य एवैतस्मिन् पुरे जाग्रति इति तस्यामेव अवस्थायाम् पनिषवृत्तेः प्राणस्य जागरणम् ब्रुवतो प्राणप्रधानाम् सुषुप्त्यावस्थां दर्शयति यच्चैतद्भूम्नः सुखत्वं श्रुतम् यो वै भूमात् सुखम् इति तदप्यविरुद्धम् अत्रैष देवः स्वप्नान्न पश्यति अत तद एतस्मिन् शरीरे तत्सुखं भवति इति सुषुप्त्यावस्थायामेव सुखश्रवणात् यच्च यो वै भूमा तदमृतम् इति तदपि प्राणस्याविरुद्धम् प्राणो वामृतम् इति श्रुतेः कथं पुनः प्राणं भूमानं मन्यमानस्य तरते शोकम् आत्मवित् इति आत्म विविदिषया प्रकरणस्य उत्थानमुपपद्यते प्राण एव आत्मा विवक्षित इति ब्रूमः तथा हि प्राणो पिता प्राणो माता प्राणो भ्राता प्राणस्वसा प्राणाचार्यः प्राणो ब्राह्मणः इति प्राणमेव सर्वात्मानं करोति यथा वा हरानाभौ समर्पिता एवमस्मिन् प्राणे सर्वं समर्पितम् इति च सर्वात्मत्वारनाभिनिदर्शनाभ्याम् च संभवति वैपुल्यात्मिका भूमरूपता प्राणस्य तस्मात् प्राणो भूमेत्येवं प्राप्तम् We are seeing a new adhikaran, and this adhikaran is called Bhuma Adhikara. In this Bhuma Adhikaran, there are only 2 sutras. And this is the first sutra. Bhuma samprasadat adhipadeshat. So what is this? This sutra, the Vishaya Vakya of this sutra is Chandogya Upanishad. Mantras. This is 7th chapter, 24th section and first mantra. So Chandogya we studied 7th chapter, 24th section. So open 24th section, you see first mantra. Yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti, nanyat vijanati, sa bhuma. Atha yatra anyat shrunoti, anyat pashyati, anyat shrunoti, anyat vijanati, tadalpam. Twenty-fourth section. Then yo vai bhuma tadamritam at yadalpam tanmartyam sa bhagavaha kasmin pratisthita iti sve mahimni yadiva na mahimni iti. So this mantra is under discussion, and this is one of the very famous mantra of 7th chapter. I will just give you the brief outline of this. So this mantra is known as Bhuma Lakshana Mantra. Bhuma Lakshana Mantra. The word Bhuma means Brahman. The word Bhum means Brahman, and Bhuma Lakshana Mantra means Brahma Lakshana Mantra. And this mantra gives the definition of the Brahman. So I'll introduce this mantra. What this mantra says, it says, Yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti, nanyat bijanati sa bhuma. That is Bhuma. Bhuma means Brahman, in that no seer sees anything with any seeing instrument also. No seer sees anything with any seeing instrument also. There is no hearer which hears anything with any hearing instrument also. There is no knower which knows anything with any knowing instrument also. Generally, we are all the time knowing with the trio of seer, seen, and seen. Every time we are with three: hearer, heard, and hearing instrument. So Bhuma he is defining in this mantra that in which Triputi or the trio is absent. That in which the trio is absent. Kartru karma karan is absent. Pramatru praman prameyam is absent. In which there is no division. So Brahman is that in which there is no division, in which there is no other than that. This is not there. But this is not that easy to understand, because all our knowledges are always with division. I know something. All the time we are knowing something. We are seeing something other than myself. We are hearing something. So all the time we are in the knowledge, which is a divided knowledge. I is different, this is different. And knowing through the mind is different. So I know something through mind or sense organ and body in between. So I is different and this is different, and the knowing instrument is different. But when it is said that I only know, Brahman is being said that I am knowing. Brahman or Bhuma is that in which there is no trio. What do you want to say then? Then because it is said like that, therefore it will be Advitiyam, non-dual. Non-dual. Is such knowledge also exists? In which there is no knower also? Is such a knowledge existing in which there is no knower also? Yes, such knowledge is there. This trio of knower, known knowledge, seer, seen, and seeing, all trio are appearing and disappearing in me. Because this trio comes and trio goes. So if trio comes and trio goes, the question is where it comes and where it goes. When the knower, one knower comes and one knower goes. So question arises from where it came and from where it went. So you have to say that there must be something from which it came and which it went. Now, that something on which it came, it cannot be inert, because this seer itself is a conscious entity. Knower is a conscious entity. So it has not come from inert, because it disappears so that conscious will disappear into consciousness only. Now where it disappeared, it will not be different from where it emerged. Anything will disappear only where it is the emerging point. So what it emerges from, it will disappear there only. If ornament is dissolving into gold, it must have come from gold. Anything can, any name and form can disappear only when it is appeared from. So that consciousness must be there from which this knower, known, and knowledge had appeared and disappeared. Now this substratum called the consciousness in which the knower known knowledge is appearing and disappearing. This should not be changing. Why? Because I know that this thought had come and it disappeared in me. If I know the coming and going of thought, that means I must be same in both the presence and absence of thought. And therefore, this consciousness should not be changing also. Right? Not right. Now this consciousness which should not be changing, it is nirakar then. Nirvikar. Nirvikar means unchanging consciousness. Anything which is unchanging cannot be in time and space. Anything which is not changing, avinashi tadvidhi, बोलो, yena sarvamidam tatam. So this is avinashi. If something is not changing, that means it is not in time. And what is not in time should be not in particular place, because anything in place will always change. What is a part of the space will always change subject to time. Because it is not changing, therefore it is not in time. Because it is not in time, therefore it is not in space. That means it is not in time and space, and therefore it will be anand. There is no second. There is no another consciousness like this. There is no another consciousness. Why another consciousness? Because if another will be there, it will be in space or it will be in time. If two consciousnesses are there, you need a space where any space is required. When space is required, then the time will come into that consciousness. Then it will become changing. If it is changing, then you will not know that this thought had come and it has disappeared in me. And therefore, yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti, nanyat vijanati sa bhuma, it tells Brahma Lakshan. What is the Lakshan Brahma? It is nirakar, what is it called? Nirvikar, nirvikaratvat, anantatvam. It is ananta and advitiya. Three conclusions we got from this line. It is nirvikar, ananta and advitiya. So there is the non-dual, and this is a nirvikar, second, and anantatvam and advitiya. Ananta means infinite, and advitiya means only one without a second. And triputi rahit, there is no triputi. Trayo is not there. I hope this much is clear to you. This is the one part of this mantra. This is part one. Part one. Acha bhai, how many parts are there? Let us see now. Then part two starts. Abhi mantra is Allah. Sutra we have not come. Sutra still we have to see. Because if you don't understand the mantra, you will never follow the sutra. And I have seen this mantra. You have seen 7 chapters. You have heard in the course. Then second part of the mantra is Yatra anyat pashyati, anyat shrunoti, anyat vijanati tadalpam. Where somebody sees something else, hears something else, knows something else, So that is alpam. Alpam means smallam. Smallam, that is small. That is small. So second part of this mantra. What is second part? This is a very important mantra, and please go and see your book. Half of you don't have book only. So at yatra anyat pashyati, where somebody sees something else. Anyat shrunoti, hears something else. Anyat vijanati, knows something else. Tadalpam, that is small. What is the meaning of a small here? Where trayo is there, trayo is the English word. That means division of knower known knowledge. Seer, seen, seeing. This trayo is there. That means what? Bolo? That means there is a spatial limitation. I know this. When you know this, so you know something other than yourself. And when you know something other than yourself, then that means what is known is different than you. What is known is different than you. Right? Now what is known is in space, then you are also in space. When I say I know the watch, so watch is in space. So I, the one who is knowing the watch, is also the one conditioned by the body and mind. Unless I put myself in body mind, क्या बोले उसको? In body mind conditioning, I cannot say I am different than the watch. I, the knower of watch, is different than the watch. There are two now. One who is enclosed in this enclosure called body mind, and other is the watch. So both are in space. When both are in space, so this will be, then this person will always be different than that. And therefore he is alpam. Alpam. See the word here. Bhuma at yatra anyat pashyati anyat shrunoti anyat bijanati tadalpam ityati. Is it clear? Moment you become a person, you are vulnerable after that. Moment you become person, not Alan person. I am saying moment. Alan person came on Guru Purnima Day. He came here, I think. He came here. So I thought he won't come because he was the one who was the first not to come. So, but he came. He called Mannabai, he called you. So Mannabai said you can come again at 1 o'clock. There has been change in the program. So he said, no, it's okay. But he gave lot of items. Lot of things he brings. He's a very good, magnanimous person. Alan person. He's not that person. From where and where you are going, please remain in the book only. So here, when you become a person, then you can be, then you are in space. When you are in space, then what will happen? That you are now subject to change. Then you can say, no, you can make me sad. So, namami shamishan nirvana rupam. So, nirvana rupam will not be there. Changelessness is not experienced. Alpam means subject to change. Vikari. Savikalp. Triputi sahitam. Dvaita vastu. Alpam. Martyam, which can die. It has fear. It has anxiety. It has sadness. which has relation. All this is in the word alpam. Alpam. How did we go? Alpam means where duality is there, vikalp is there. Then where vikalp is there, then vikar, modification is there. Vikar is there, then subject to death. Then fear is there. He will insult me. I will go away. I can be anxious. I have to do a lot. If I won't do, who will do? I'm small. He's better. He's better. I'm not better. I'm worse. He's very good. So all this is called alpam. Alpam. Alpam means subject to modification, then subject to death, then subject to fear, then subject to change, then subject to anxiousness, then subject to relative, who has a relative existence because of who he defines himself through somebody else. That is called alpam. So sabhuma lastly tadalpam. This is the second part. Second part of the mantra. What is the third part of the mantra? Please, I'm making the background. Don't say later on that I did not know. Third part of the mantra pushpam you have, no? Mantra pushpam. So third part of the mantra is yo vai bhuma tad amritam. Third part of the mantra. What is bhuma? That is amritam. Already I told about that bhuma is nirvikalpam. Therefore, advitiyam, and therefore, anantam. Ab what is anantam? Naturally, it will not die because time is not there, and therefore, bhuma will be immortal. So, yo vai bhuma tad amritam. What is bhuma is amritam. Amritam is beyond time, transcending the time. Amritam is that which is beyond any mortality, any change, right? Any change. So, yo vai bhuma tadamritam. Tadamritam. Please note one small point is there. In this particular Upanishad, bhuma is mentioned. Yo vai bhuma tad sukham word has been there. So, here sukham also you can add with amritam. If you say last 23rd khand, if you see, it is the very first line is written, yo vai bhuma tat sukham. Nal pe sukham asti. Very popular line of Chandogya. This is the Shruti Vakya which says that Atma is of the nature of Sukh. Other than Vedanta, no darshan says that Atma is of the nature of Sukh. Sankhya does not say, Yog does not say, Nyaya does not say, Vaisheshik does not say, Urmimamsa does not say, Jain, Buddhist, Arvak don't say. And this is the quotation here. If somebody says that Atma is of the nature of joy is not mentioned anywhere, you can say this is the mention. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham na alpe sukham asti bhumaiva sukham bhuma tveva vijigyasitavyaiti. You saw that. And therefore you add one more information. What was information earlier? Nirvikalpam, Nirakaram, Anantam, Advitiyam. And we got one more information. What? Sukham. And whatever is bhuma is of the nature of joy. Joy. Joy is a lighter word. So bliss also is there. Bliss, joy. But if you remember, I had told that bliss, joy, all these are experiential things. Experiential. Actually, Sukh word in Vedanta for the Atma, it has only one meaning. Tell me. Hello? Sukh in the Atma is Sukh means Anandam. Anantam. When experiential joy, we use like the experiential joy, we use the word bliss, joy, pleasure. But that is not the experiential joy, it's the substantial state of limitlessness or anantam. I had told about this somewhere. Where I had told, I think in Brahma Sutra only this point had come somewhere. Some sutra you can show me. There I had told it is not the experiential joy we are talking about, because experiential joy is always with conditioning. Huh? Which one? Anandamaya Adhikaran is there. So in that, how many sutras were there? You can see later on. The experiential joy is always with limitation and conditioning. That is aupadhika anand. And this is anupadhika anand is there. So anand word, although it is translated roughly as bliss, roughly, loosely as bliss, anand, satchidanand, existence, consciousness, bliss. But it is not 100% accurate. Although books also will translate it like that, because this is the closest translation of the word Anand. You know why? Because that has exclusion in it. When you say joy word is there. So I am joyous, you are not joyous. And another thing is there, when you say the word bliss and joy, there is agama paina. You know it has come, it has gone now. But when you use the word infinite, then you can't say I have infinite, you don't have infinite. And my infinite was there and now it is not there. So experiential thing has a agama painitvam, but substantial anand does not have agama painitvam. Agama means coming and going. And therefore here bhuma word is of the nature of sukham. I hope sukham word is clear. So finite is dukkham now. See what is written here. So next word is yad alpam tad maratyam. This is a third part. Third part is about bhuma. Amritam. Amritam you have already included sukham also in that. And fourth part is yad alpam tad martyam. Fourth part is yad alpam tad martyam. What do you mean? Whatever is finite is martyam. Martyam is perishable. And perishable you can add one more point, dukkha swarupa. Whatever is of the nature of finiteness, finiteness means savikalp. Savikalp. That is of the nature of dukkham. Dukkham means what? Dukkham means the experience of limitation. I am being cut by something. Something has gone from me. Somebody has snatched something. The experience of dukh means, I told you definition of dukkham. Remember that? Huh? In the self. When you feel that I have been limited, I am being reduced. Somebody has reduced me. Some situation has reduced me. Absence of money has reduced me. Old age has reduced me. Okay. Less knowledge has reduced me. The sense of reduction in I. Sense of contraction in I. Sense of limitation in I. That is called dukkham. So wherever alpam is there, whatever is small will always be the nature of dukkham. Dukh swarupam. There is a fourth point which is said here. So dukh is not the name in a situation. Dukh is not situational. It is personal. It is personal, erroneous personal, self-reduced image. Erroneous, personal, self-reduced image about yourself. I am very small. I am made small by this person. He doesn't consider me anything. He considered me as a non-entity. Situation has pushed me to the cornered me. Situation has cornered me today. I have no value. I have been sidelined. I have no status. Whatever you can say. This is dukkham. Okay. This is the fourth point. What is the fifth point? Fifth point, this Bhuma being the infinite, it is supporter of everything. Sa bhagavah kasmin pratishtita iti swe mahimni. It is established in its own glory. So it is not supported by anything. To supporter should be bigger than supported. If you are sitting, or if there is a book on the table should be bigger than the book. Table should not be smaller than the book. Book will fall down. If you are sitting, so on the chair or stool should be bigger than you. Otherwise you will slip down. Sometimes some small stools are there. You must have sat. Where you are bigger than that, so you are constantly about to fall down. So if something else was the supporter of this means? Huh? Bhuma. Not Bhima, Bhuma. If this was bigger than the Bhuma, then that will not make it infinite. Because it is infinite, this Bhuma is infinite, and therefore it is unsupported by all. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. 5 points are in the mantra. Don't forget. Then Purva Paksh will ask all this, then you will say, why this is asking that? Purva Paksh is not ordinary Purva Paksh. He is very well read and he has come very prepared. He knows everything. So we get baffled by Purva Paksh because we don't know exactly where from he is putting this question. Now this is the point 5 in this 7.24.1. I hope you remember what is the background of this 7th chapter. No, I don't remember that. Everything is forward. I'll give the background because again you will be using that background. What is the background on this 7th chapter? I think you had heard CD in this 7th chapter. No, but in the course, I think before that I took it. Then in the course I said you hear it. It was like that. 1 or 2 chapters something was heard. I3, not A3. I3, and this I think you had heard it. Let me go back to it. What is said here? What is the background of this 7th chapter, which is called Bhum Vidya or Brahma Vidya? What is the meaning here? So there is a student, is Naradji, and the teacher is Sanat Kumar here. So Naradji goes to Sanat Kumar. Sanat Kumar said, "Bhai, how come you had come here? Kaise aana hua?" You are the one. You constantly keep on wandering here and there. Wandering you are. How come you have come here? And then Narad ji says, why I'm not happy. He said, Arey, you're not happy. So yes, I'm not happy. Why you're not happy? He said, I'm not happy. So this is called Narad Sanat Kumar Samvad. Conversation between Narad ji and Sanat Kumar. He said, I'm very educated person. My education has no boundaries. And if you know, he has given a big list of what he knows in that particular chapter. He knows all the Puranas, he knows all the Itihas, he knows Vedas, he knows mathematics, he knows Nidhi Shastra, economics, astrology, even he knows dance, he knows music, he knows, what is politics. But he's saying, sir, Swam Bhagavo Mantra with, he said, still I have sadness. Soham Bhagavah Shochami. Soham Bhagavah Shochami. Still I have grief. My misery is there. Then Sanat Kumar said, why you studied so much, still misery is there? He said, I am an educated miserable person. So earlier, I was ignorant miserable person. And with all these educations which I had gone through, consider your situation. I don't think knowledge is saying, put yourself. Don't laugh on knowledge, laugh on yourself. He says, earlier I was ignorant, miserable person. And now I am educated, miserable person. But miserable component is same as it is. Rather, it is increased also slightly. देखो क्या हुआ, क्या फायदा हुआ, इतना पड़ गया. What you gained? He said, then why you want? What you want? He said, but I have heard that Shokam Tarati Atmavit. One who knows the knowledge of the self, he alone crosses all sorrows. So, Tamma Bhagavan Shokasya Param Tarayatu. Please take me across this grief. I have heard that Shokam Tarati Atmavit. And therefore you take me across by giving the knowledge of the Atmavit. Everybody has Atma, but hardly anybody is Atmavit. Atmavit we are not. So please tell me about this knowledge of the self. This was the starting point. Shoka, this I took in SIF this last year. Nobody was here. From you, nobody was. Last to last, you were there. So here, Atma word was used. And definition of Atma? Definition of Atma? I had told also. What's the definition of Atma? Yacha apnoti. Yacha apnoti. Aditya? Heat is also there. Yacha adatte. Yacha ati vishayaniya. Yacha asya santato bhavasa atma iti kapyate. All this has been said. So you are looking as, oh, this has been said. Well, where it has been said? So many places it has been said. I have forgotten. Vedant course was long back. Matter of Vedant course you can study in whole life. Although it is called 2-3 years, but if you start studying, it is so much is there in that. You can go through whole life. So yacha apnoti, that which pervades everywhere. Sarvam vyapnoti iti atma. That which pervades. So he will say, so Bhuma word you and Atma word. So he asked the knowledge of Atma. That means you tell about the biggest. And ultimately Bhuma word will come. What is the procedure which is followed by Sanat Kumarji is something unique. So he starts teaching. Who? Sanat Kumar starts teaching. And when he starts teaching, he doesn't straight away say Atma is like that. He introduces 14 items. And each is bigger than the earlier one. This is his modus operandi of teaching. And in that first item he says is Naam. Second item is, don't say Roop. So second item he says is Vak. Because after hearing Naam, Naradji says, is there something bigger than Naam? He said, yes, there is something called bigger than Naam is Vak. His speech is bigger than Naam. Then he told, okay, so tell me about this speech. So he told about the speech. De kahin roop naam adhina. What is more pervasive than Naam? He said speech is more pervasive than Naam. Because karanam karyat adik vyapakam. From speech, Naam is coming. So Naam, speech is the cause of name. I say Ram. So the one speech is bigger than the word Ram. So therefore, speech is more pervasive than Naam. He said, okay. Then he asked this question, please tell me one thing. Is there something bigger than speech? He said, yes. Mind is bigger than speech because speech is governed by the mind. When your mind is not okay, your speech also is not okay. And your mind is very happy, your speech is also very happy. When you are in a very happy and loving mood, your speech is also very loving. You wonder that how this person is talking so sweetly. And because he is very happy right now. So bigger than the speech is the, please don't forget, this is a third item. I won't tell all. Oh, I thought you'll tell all. No, I won't tell all. I may not. You can go and see. This is not the main subject. I'm just revising it. So bigger than the Naam is the Vak. Bigger than the Vak is the Man or the mind. Now Naradji said, okay. And everywhere if you see the Upanishad, Sanat Kumar will be saying, because mind is bigger, therefore you do Upasana of mind. Upasana of mind. Acha. Then Naradji asked, tell me. He said, Batao bhai. So what is the meaning of Upasana of mind? I'm not going on all that topic. He's saying, is there something bigger than mind? Is there something bigger than mind? Can you tell what is bigger than mind? Sankalp. Sankalp is bigger than mind. Because Sankalp, as is your Sankalp, so is your mind also. Okay? Sankalp means that this I have to do, this I don't have to do. Karana vritti is called sankalp. So as is your sankalp, as is your resolve, according is your mind. If your sankalp is, I have to not to do this, I have taken vows, then that will make your mind. If somebody's mind is not good, it means his sankalp is not good. Sankalp does not mean thought. Sankalp means samyak kalpana. That means what is sense, where is his sense of importance and joy? That is called sankalp. Because where is your sense of importance and joy, from there only the thoughts emerge. So sankalp is more pervasive than the mind. Therefore he says, do sankalp upasana. Who says? Sanat Kumar. That means entertain bigger sankalp. Good resolve you should have. Don't think small. Don't think cheap. Don't think narrow. Think something bigger. Have a broader thought, broader outlook. Don't see joy in small things. Don't see joy in unimportant issue. They say he is narrow-minded. So this is sankalp is there. Then he asked, who? Araji asked, is there something bigger than sankalp also, or this sankalp is the last? He said, no, there is something bigger. Well, what is that? Chittam. Chittam. Chittam va sankalpat bhuyah. This is which number? Chittam. 5th number. Chittam is bigger than sankalp. Acha? So chittam, what is chittam now? So chittam is your samskars which is there. Samskar rashi is there. Bhashikar writes, Prapt kal anurupa bodhavatvam. When a situation comes, immediately as per your samskar, there is a thought automatically emerging without effort. You don't put effort. You don't modify that thought. So there is a samar that is called chittam. I'm not describing, that's not my subject. This is the chittam is bigger, more pervasive than the sankalp now. Then he says, Acha, is there something more pervasive than chittam also? He said, yes, dhyanam. Dhyanam is more pervasive than chittam. Because your chittam, your samskar are made by dhyanam. You contemplate on somebody, he is very bad. So your impression about that will be about dvesh. You consider somebody as he is very, very good and close. So your impression will be about rag. So through dhyanam you made chittam. Through dhyanam you have made, I always say, you have made a burning thought about him in your mind. Burning thought you have made. So any time that person will be remembered, that person will always be associated with your furnace thought. This is chittam. So he says, is there something more vyapak or more pervasive than chittam? He said, yes. Then dhyanam. He said, vigyanam. What knowledge you have, what knowledge you take about him. Vigyanam, that is called vigyanam. Vigyanam means what really you have understanding about him. This is the what you understand about him. You understand something and then you deliberate about it. This is, he said, is there something more pervasive than the vigyanam? He said, yes. Willpower, balam. Balam. Balam means the capacity to hold something. Balam. Willpower is there. You are holding that. He said, Acha bhai, tell me something. Is there something more important and more pervasive than Balam also? So he said, yes. I said, what? What is more important than Balam? This is which number? I don't know what number is there. If is there something more important than Balam, he said, Annam. Annam. लो अन्न आ गया कहाँ से कहाँ आ गया अन्न आ गया अन्नम अच्छा हाँ because if you don't eat for long time your power of thinking and balam goes away. He said, is there something more important than balam, than annam? He said, water. Water. Apa. Apa. Not Hindi apa. Water. He said, Acha, is there something more pervasive than water? He said, Teja. Fire. If fire is not there, water also won't come. He said, okay, tell me, is there something more pervasive than Teja? He said, space. Space is there. I'm not explaining it. You can see again. He said, okay, is there more pervasive than something called space? He said, yes. What is more pervasive than space? Smarana. लो चेंज हो गया स्मरण memory, what you remember. He said, okay, is there something more important and more pervasive than smara? He said, asha. Asha means hope. Ab you remember what I said. So this asha topic comes in 14th cut, 14th section. How long this will go? Asha, you see what number is there. So this is asha now. Okay. Now he says that is there something more bigger than asha? He said prana. Prana is biggest. And while describing the prana, he started describing the prana very elaborately. Who? Sanat Kumar. So I don't know whether we have touched 14 or not. Huh? 15 आ गया? हाँ. 15th is prana. 15th how are we? 15th. So, chalo. Better to have 1-2 more, we can always reduce. So yeah. So here he says, now the point is stuck up here only. Where prana? He says, one who knows prana, he knows the biggest thing in the creation. Who says? Sanat Kumar. So Pranavadi is Ativadi. One who knows Pran, so he knows everything. He knows the biggest thing in this creation. Okay. This was said now. Okay. Pran is the biggest, he says now. This is in 15th section. And he is called Ativadi. Ativadi means that which talks about the biggest. After this comes 16th section. Sanat Kumar says Pran is not real Ativadi, he is Apekshik Ativadi. Apekshik Ativadi is there. Okay. And in the 16th section, it is said here, in that 16th section here, it is said that Swaham Bhagava Satyena Devadi. The one who knows the Brahman, he knows the biggest. Now 2 points have come now. What are the 2 points? One is the one who knows the Pran, he knows the biggest. And then he also says one who knows the Brahman, he knows the biggest. Satyen word has been used. But what? One who, when mentioning about the Pran, he elaborated a lot. And mentioning about the Satya, he said in 1-2 line only. Rather than chronological order, this Sat is coming later on. And Pran is coming earlier. So there is one sentence which says that Brahmavadi is Ativadi. 1 line only it is. One who knows the Satyam, he knows everything. Tomorrow I'll explain about what is Ativadi. And therefore the question, this was little mischief from the Upanishad side. Now the question and confusion is started. This Bhuma refers to Pran or Brahman. And this will be the point of discussion in this particular section called Bhuma Adhikara. Got my point? Still it has to start. But this we will see in our tomorrow's class. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namah. Hari Om.